guys, Country Fried Goth here. So I know it's been a hot minute since I have uploaded anything, and that's because I've been so freaking busy. As you can see, like the setting is a little bit different. That is because I moved for the third time. For the third time in a year and in less than 6 months. Like it's just been crazy freaking hectic. But the house I'm in right now is actually one I'm going to be sharing with my cousin until I get enough saved up to like get my own thing going again. I've been busy with that as well as school because finals are coming up, so that's kind of stressing me out. And I've just been kind of feeling like bummed lately. Sometimes I let circumstantial things bring me down, and then I get really sad and upset, and then I go on house cleaning and baking sprees at like 1:30 in the morning because I don't know what else to do with myself. But at any rate, I've been kind of going through that, and it's just because like just situational things. It's things that aren't permanent, that it's just like right now things are hard. And I keep trying to like give myself a pep talk and like it's gonna be fine, like you're in school, you're working towards your degree, it's gonna be good, you've got good things going, and it's just hard. So anytime I would try and like film something, I would just like not be in the mood. So I just didn't. But this video I decided to do the Darkling tag just because my last video was kind of serious and I thought this one would be kind of fun, and this would be the 7th time I have recorded this freaking video. The last time I recorded it was actually before I moved out of my aunt and uncle's house, and whenever I was watching the footage and I was trying to edit it, it was awful. Like I hated it, and I'm just gonna do it again, I guess. So hopefully this time like it'll be good. So let's get started, shall we? Question 1, what is your favorite candle scent? My favorite candle scent is actually this one that I found on accident in TJ Maxx called Warm Pipe Tobacco. And it's my favorite because it reminds me of my papaw because he smoked a tobacco pipe. And whenever my papaw passed away 7 years ago, it hit me hard. And I was actually at TJ Maxx with my aunt. We were like, they had like the fall candles out, and I'm like, warm tobacco pipe. And I took the lid off and I smelled it, and I almost started crying in the store because I'm like, it smells like papaw. But other than that, I mean, like as long as it's not anything like fruity or dessert scented. Question number 2, do you have a favorite book? Indeed I do. Hairstyles of the Damned by Joe Minnow, and I love that book so much. I want to say I read it my junior year of high school, and I loved it because it's about these like skeevy punk kids in the 90s, and it's kind of like a coming of age story. And the reason why I love it so much is because it's the first book that I read where it had, the character's name was Gretchen, and she's not the main character, but it was the first book I read where the character was punk and she was also plus size. Because normally in the books that I read, they didn't really have had plus size alternative people in them. And whenever I read Hairstyles of the Damned, I was like, oh my god. And I related to Gretchen so much, and that's why it's my favorite book. So if you haven't checked it out, highly recommend. highly recommend. Question number 3, are you a tea or coffee person? I am more coffee than tea. It just kind of depends on my mood, because sometimes I'm just kind of like, oh my god, enough coffee, and then I like go on a tea kick for like 2 or 3 months, then I'm like, oh my god, enough tea, and then I go on like a coffee kick for like 2 or 3 months. Like it just depends on my mood. Question 4, what is your favorite brand and color of lipstick? My favorite brand is Black Moon Cosmetics. I love everything that they do. My favorite shade is, I think it's called Asteroid. And I would show it to you on camera, but it doesn't give the same effect that it does like in person. It's teal, but whenever the light hits it just right, it kind of does like an iridescent type thing, and it has like purple, and it reminds me of mermaid scales, and that's why I love it so much. Question number 5, what is your favorite perfume or cologne? Honestly, whatever fucking smells good. There has been, I've been wanting to try the Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab stuff, but it's like every time I have money, I forget about it. And then whenever, like after I go to like Bath and Body Works or Victoria's Secret or like get something else. I'm just like, oh fuck, like, you know, like I should have got the Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab stuff. But question 6, do you have a celebrity crush? As far like, my crushes are more like YouTube because I don't really watch a whole lot of TV. I mean, Shane Dawson. How can you not like Shane Dawson? Slazzo. I love Slazzo. Angela Benedict. She is gorgeous. And she just seems like a genuinely sweet person. Question number 7. If you had to give up the color black, what color would you choose instead? I am a huge fan of like deep reds, purples, greens, and blues. Any like deep tones like that. I love. Question number 8. If you could change your name to a stereotypical 90s/2000s gothy name, what would it be? I don't know if I would consider it like a stereotypical name or whatever. Like, I keep thinking of Obsidian, whatever the hell from fucking the Mighty Boosh, but whenever I first decided to do a YouTube channel, Country Fried Goth was not going to be the name of this channel. Country Fried Goth was going to be a blog, and I had this persona name kind of thing of Georgette Macabre, and it's spelled like this. And because, you know, I'm so like unique, original, and funny, and yeah, but it just became Country Fried Goth, and here we are. So I would say, even though it's not really like stereotypical, it's kind of like a play on words in a sense, because macabre isn't spelled the way that you would think. I don't know how the fuck I came up with Georgette Macabre. It just kind of popped into my head one day, and I'm like, that's it. That's the name for my YouTube channel. So yeah, that's what I would pick. Question 9. What are your top 3 tips for surviving hot weather while black clad? I had to kind of figure these out whenever I moved down here, because Indiana, I mean, like, obviously they have summer, but it's nothing like what it is whenever you live 20 minutes away from the beach. So what I started doing was I actually started wearing shorts. Before I moved down here, I never wore shorts out in public. The closest thing that I had that came to shorts were these leggings that I got, and they had like rips going from like the ankle up to like mid-thigh. That was the closest thing I had to shorts. I wore a lot of tank tops and t-shirts with fishnet underneath of them. So fishnet definitely. And I carry around a black lace fan in my purse at all times. And I also carry around a purse-sized umbrella. It's one of those where it like collapses and gets like super, super tiny, and then you push the button and then it like shoots out and then it like opens up. I carry one of those in my bag, because if it is a situation where I have my makeup done, I hate wearing sunglasses because then I get like the dents in my nose, and I hate that. So I'll just wear like a sun hat. Sun hats are another thing. Or I'll use the umbrella as a sunshade, and I'll just fan myself with my fan. So definitely those things. Question number 10. What song will always make you happy? Doesn't have to be a goth band. It is a goth band because it doesn't matter what kind of fucking day I'm having, but for the like, I think it's like 3 minutes long, 3 minutes and some change seconds long. For that time that Mick Carr is playing, I am the happiest little bean. Like, everything is right with the world. But then as soon as the song stops, I'm just like, oh yeah, everything sucks. God, like, I don't know. I mean, as far as like, you know, like if I'm like feeling nervous about something and I need to like amp myself up, Tabongaro, anything by Tabongaro puts me in a good mood. You know, obviously there's like All My Friends Are Dead, but my favorite song that gets me just like amped up that's by Tabongaro is a song called Boys From Nowhere. And I don't know what it is about that song, but I'm just like, yeah, like I have so much energy. Question number 11, are you active in the arts? Indeed I am. I play piano, I dabble with drums, I can kind of play guitar, I play bass a little bit. One thing, like, this is the reason I have no money, is because like, after I pay my bill, I'll just get like a random whim and then I like buy something fucking stupid. Like lately my thing has been like, I want to teach myself how to play violin. And so I decided that, like, you know, after, you know, like my next month's bills are paid, if I have any cash left over, I'm gonna buy myself a violin. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna teach myself how to play it. But at the same time, it's like, Samantha, do you really need a violin? And then the other half of me is like, yes, you do. So that might be a thing, I'm not exactly sure, but yes, I am very active in the arts. Question number 12, if you had a teacup or mug made and inscribed just for you, what would you have it say? Now, you would think that with all the fucking times I have like tried to record this video that I would like put some thought into this question, but I have no idea. I really have no idea what I would have it say. I mean, there's a quote from Romeo and Juliet that I think is fitting, just because if you know, like with, you know, I'm going to school to be a mortician, and it's, I don't remember what exactly it is off the top of my head, but I'll put it on the screen. And I mean, like, it's beautiful, and I'm pretty sure that's like what he says, like whenever he first like sees Juliet like laying on the thing. But yeah, that's probably what I would have it say, just because it's like the only thing that can come to mind right now. Question number 13. What is your number one non-gothy hobby? Fucking macrame. I love macrame things. And not just like traditional macrame, but there's also, I guess it's like friendship bracelet making. But what it is you just like, you tie knots with strands of embroidery floss, and whenever it's all said and done, it makes a pattern. And one of those that I did, it took 74 strands of embroidery floss, and it was the album cover for Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. It took me forever to get done. Question number 14. If you could be a magical creature, what would you be and why? I would want to be a mermaid. Just because, like, it's so funny because, like, I'm a Leo with a Capricorn moon, I'm a fire sign, but I have always been drawn to water. I don't know why, but I have, and just mermaid makes sense. Just makes sense to me. Question number 15. What horror monster-based superpower would you have? I would want the ability to shapeshift, just because, you know, like, my two favorite animals in the entire world are bats and sea turtles. And, you know, like, if I couldn't be a mermaid for some reason, I could just turn into a fucking sea turtle and then just go, like, swim in the ocean for a minute. Or, you know, if I like couldn't sleep and I felt like flying, poof, I'm a fucking Batman. Like, so that's the power I would want. Question number 16. Do you feel comfortable or confident talking with other goths online or in real life? Why or why not? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on the subject, really, because I try to be a sponge just because I would consider myself more of a teenage bat, because I know enough now to be like, this is goth, this is not goth, you know, but it's like I'm learning new things like all the fucking time, and I try to be a sponge and like absorb information about, you know, like new bands, new websites, new whatever the fuck, like just new things. And I'm always afraid I'm gonna slip up and say something fucking stupid, and then they're gonna look at me and be like, oh my god, what a poser. And so, like, I don't want that to happen. Like, that is like hands down my biggest fear. And so I'm kind of nervous about it. And you know, back home there wasn't really a scene. I mean, there was dark indie, but again, you know, where I lived, indie was 3 hours away. And so finding time to get up there was really, really hard, just because I was so crushed financially that I could barely make enough to pay like my own personal bills. Here, funny enough, I made a friend through, I believe it was one of Skullgirdle's live streams. And if you don't go to Skullgirdle's Goth Salons, like, I'm just gonna put a link to her channel for that below, because you need to go. It's pretty much every Thursday night. I can almost guarantee you're gonna make a friend if you go to Skullgirdle's live streams on Thursdays. But I made a friend, and she, you know, I'm kind of in the same situation, because where like their goth night and all that kind of stuff is, it's also 3 hours away. And every time I make a plan to go, something fucked up happens. The last time I made a plan to go was in September, and then Hurricane Florence was like, oh no bitch, you ain't going nowhere. But yeah, I'm just a nervous Nelly about a lot of things. I just don't want people to think that I'm stupid, or think that I'm just, you know, wearing black and calling myself a goth without really knowing what all goes in the subculture. So I always have that fear in the back of my head. So yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about that. Question number 17, which is more important for a look? Great hair or great makeup? I would say makeup, just because like the couple times that I tried to do, I don't know if it would be considered a death hawk, because isn't like the technical death hawk where you have like the piece of hair? Because I don't have that. I just have like it's pretty much like a mohawk haircut, because I have the other side done as well. At any rate, I teased my hair into this giant fucking thing. And it took like 2.5 hours to tease and 3.5 hours to like demat all of my hair. And by the time it was all said and done, like it looked like there was a dead animal on my hairbrush. So I don't do my hair like that all the time. Like this is how I have my hair 98% of the time. I would definitely say makeup, because I do my makeup more often than I do anything else. Question number 18. Is there something that you wish there was more of in your subculture? I definitely wish there was more understanding. I feel like nobody really wants to learn like what all aspects make up the goth subculture. I just feel like, you know, people kind of like try and trickle in because they come from the mainstream, you know, like Taylor Swift wears black lipstick once and she's goth, that kind of thing, and then they all kind of start to trickle in, but it's like they just want to wear black, and it's all very like fashion based. And you know, there are some YouTube channels out there that they make it seem like that's all it is, and then it's like you don't really get to like the underlying stuff. And I feel like there's not a lot of understanding. Like people just want like the surface level, you know, like if they see one post on Tumblr of, you know, some chick wearing like a box outfit from fucking Killstar, they're like, oh, that's so goth. And it's like that, there's so much fucking more to it. And it's like people don't take the time anymore to like ask questions. And then, you know, it's like the same thing where if a person genuinely does ask a question and then they just happen to ask the one fucking asshole out of the whole fucking group who's like, well, if you don't know that, why are you in the subculture? You know, like not everybody's like that. If you show a genuine interest, people who have been in the subculture for a while, I feel, are more likely to be like, oh, you actually are interested in being like a legit goth. Like you're not just in it for fashion or to be edgy for like 2 weeks to piss off your parents. Like you actually are interested. So here, let me show you all of these bands and all of these other things and all of these podcasts and YouTube channels and like all this other kind of shit. And you know, like they're more likely to take you under their bat wing and like show you the way. And I feel like, you know, like I said, like people get a hold of that one fucking asshole and then it just like, it ruins it. I just feel like there's that lack of people who want to, you know, or like I said, they get a hold of the one asshole that makes them not want to, and then they like leave, or they're like, oh, well, everyone's a fucking dick that's goth, and then they leave, and you know. So that was a very long answer, but hopefully it made sense. Question number 19. Care to share an embarrassing story related to your darkliness? Oh man. I used to think I could not leave the house unless I looked like Toxic Tears and This Black Friday had a love child. I mean, like I was drawing like the little like symbols on my face, and I was doing like all kinds of shit, and you know, that was whenever I very first got into the subculture, and that's because like they were the first YouTube channels that popped up. So, you know, I just thought that it was like fashion based, and you know, the more I kind of dug and kind of like went through, I don't remember how, because Skullgirdle's channel, that was the one that kind of like opened like the gates into the goth subculture for me. I typed in goth on the YouTube search thing because I'm like, there has to be something, you know, and her channel popped up and it was like an 80s goth does 80s makeup with 80s makeup products or something. It was something like that. That was the first video I saw, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I like went down the rabbit hole on her channel, and that was how I found Cemetery Confessions and Angela Benedict and Gothic Soulflower and Angel Nightmare and Nephilim and Corruptus and Acumortis and all these other things that I'm name dropping that I will put in the description below. And yeah, so it's all a matter of, you know, like you find one thing and then you just like start stumbling down all these different things, and then it goes from there. But yeah, so that was another very long and rambly answer. Yeah. Question number 20, how are you at DIY? I would say I'm pretty sufficient. I almost fucked that word totally up. Question number 21, quickly describe your ideal wedding. At night, outside, preferably full moon. Now it's time for the confessional. Question number 1. That's not really a question. Okay. I love watching cheesy romance films. False. So fucking false. Cheesy romance films make me want to fucking puke. Like the last movie that I watched that was kind of a romance was Gone with the Wind. But if you've seen it and you read the book, like it's not really a romance. Like it is, but then the ending makes it like anti-romance. And yeah, so no. I always remember to wash off my makeup at night. Yes, 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 yes. I have really watery eyes, and if I go to bed with it on, I will wake up and I cannot see because my vision is so fucking blurry because my eyes are so fucking watery. And yes, so I always remember to wash my makeup off. I sleep with plushies. This is true. I do have a giant stuffed panda that I sleep with. I wear non-black pajamas most nights. This is true. My pajamas mostly consist of like old band t-shirts and like the elastic like Sophie shorts or Sophie shorts. I don't know what the fuck. But they're like just stretchy, sleepy shorts. So that's pretty much what I wear most nights. I still listen to a boy band that disbanded years ago. This is true. I've been known to, you know, throw back some NSYNC or some Backstreet Boys every once in a while. I think Andrew Eldritch is overrated. Like I just think, I don't know. I mean, I just think he needs to accept the fact that he's, you know, goth, but at the same time, if he does, then we're going to lose so many fucking goth memes. Is that selfish? I mean, like, that's kind of selfish, but I mean, like, he's maybe not. I don't like vampires. This is also tangible. It depends on how they're depicted. Twilight vampires, fuck off. Just whenever I want my vampires depicted, you know, as composed and elegant and like untouchable, but then it's like whenever they get their bloodlust, they're just like, it's fucking gone. Like all they care about is, you know, blood. Like that's it. And then as soon as they get their bloodlust like fixed, like they're fine. So those are the kind of vampires that I like. I don't like clubs. I don't know. I've never been to one. I've been invited several times by one of my friends, but it's like I said, every time I plan to go, something fucked up happens. Okay, I'm dating a goth/darkly inclined person. I'm not dating anybody currently. I was kind of talking to somebody, but that kind of fell through just because like I decided that I wasn't really ready for a relationship so soon. I don't enjoy graveyards. Obviously false. I've enjoyed graveyards from a super young age. I don't know if I've mentioned it in previous videos. I'm sure I have. But the house I grew up in, whenever my parents got divorced and my dad started dating this lady, she had a cemetery in her side yard, and I would spend hours at that cemetery. And then whenever we moved to my hometown, I would ride my bike and go hang out in the cemeteries and all that kind of stuff. So I've just enjoyed the atmosphere because it's like, it's so chill. You know what I mean? It's like very peaceful and zen, and it's just, I love them. Blood makes me queasy. This is false. I'd sooner faint than pet a spider. This is false. I was actually talking to my boss the other day about how whenever I get like more financially set up, I want like pet rats or pet spiders or pet snakes or something, but I want two because I want them to be named Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I don't know. I don't like haunted houses. It depends on what kind it is. If it's like an actual haunted house with like actual ghosts, then yes, sign me up, down for it. But if it's the kind where it's like only at Halloween they have the actors or whatever, I don't really like those. But I'll go if it's for like a good cause or something like that. I still browse Hot Topics clearance racks. This is kinda true. Kinda. Just because like if I'm in a need for like a t-shirt or something, like I do it. I don't really do it like a whole lot. But you know, I've gotten a few good things from there. I've never read Dracula. I was 6 pages in whenever I moved from Indiana to here. I do have a book in my room right now. I borrowed it from my aunt's best friend. It's actually a combination. It has Dracula and Frankenstein in it. So I'm gonna be like cracking that bad boy open at some point. I don't know when, but at some point I will, and yeah. So I will read it. I have it. I think Bela Lugosi's Dead is a long and boring song. You know, for like the first time, like on my own accord, I didn't even make it 30 seconds into the song. Now I don't think it is at all. I'm the kind of person where if like the song doesn't start almost like immediately, like I don't want anything to do with it. And you know, like I've gotten a little bit better about that just because of Bela Lugosi's Dead. You know, the intro is like fucking almost 3 minutes long. And the way that I actually listened to it was I was working at the hospital back in Indiana, and I think I was slicing meat. I was doing something and I had gloves on and it came on, so I couldn't change the song, so I had to listen to it. But after it got through the intro, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like the song does start at some point. But yeah, no, I don't think it's long and boring. Okay, and that's all the questions for the Darkling tag. I'm sticking with this video. I don't care. I don't care if it's trash, I'm fucking uploading trash because I am not redoing this video. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And just remember that it's free to be nice and don't be a dick. Bye guys.